right, everybody. Welcome back to the Keystone Keys Podcast. This is episode number 22. 22 weeks in a row.
22.
We've been running strong. Yeah, not bad, right? Not bad. I think maybe we'll have more than two viewers today. No, but welcome back, everybody. Along with myself, Chris Weber. I'm the janitor in this place. So
no, you're
yes,
not.
come on.
Let's
get. I do the sound checks.
Yeah,
and then I check in with Jesse.
That's
the
like
Wizard
a
of
CEO.
Pods.
That's like what a CEO does. Like make sure everything is running properly.
No, CEO shows up late to the meeting.
Right. Good point. Good point.
But we got Wizard of Pods in the corner back here with us.
What's up, Jesse?
Jesse, JLG Marketing Solutions.
That's right.
Yep. I know, right? I don't know why.
22 episodes.
I know. I'm sorry, Jess. I love you so much, bro. I really do. Principal broker and owner of Keystone Mortgage Solutions, Lindsay Weber, and co-host and the illustrious.
Thank you.
Let's show a little more of this arm over here. Come on.
He's happy with his new voice.
Right? He's been working on it. Don't let him.
Yeah, for real.
Regan Weiss, 43 Inc.
Thank you, sir.
And in studio, we have our special guest today, real estate agent with Century 21, Miss Mandy Fackler.
Welcome.
So, yes.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Regan, so we're talking everything barndominiums today, right?
Well, we're talking barndominiums. We're talking real estate in general.
Yes.
And we're talking Mandy Fackler today. So, Mandy, I'm going to say it.
Oh, here we go.
You came out of nowhere to me, right? So you were introduced via social media, and then everyone just said, "Who's Mandy? Who's Mandy Fackler? Who's Mandy Fackler?" And then now everyone knows Mandy, and looks like you've been doing very well in the real estate world. So for the people that don't know you, why don't you tell us who you are, how long you've been around, what you've been up to, all that fun stuff.
Well, thank you. Thank you guys for having me, and I would love to share who I am. I'm basically your friend, the friend next door, and in real estate, it's been so much fun to serve my friends from across the state on the other coast, and then this one, and then they trust me so much that now I'm your mom's realtor and your grandmother's realtor, and let's get your father-in-law from his house and into a 55 plus. I will solve everyone's problems. And with a smile. Usually they make fun of me for that too. Like, how are you always smiling? I love this. So it's my way of giving back, and then I provide for my family. So that's like in a very tiny nutshell who I am.
Nice. So real estate, how did you get in the real estate game?
I actually started in 2012 as an assistant. Like I was literally cleaning bathrooms. Started from the bottom, but I won't start rapping yet. Next one. But so I started doing that, and all of the agents and everyone in the industry everyone saying the same thing. You need to get your real estate license. Like you could kill it. Okay, well, I'm not doing that. So I'm happy just being this, like, let me help everyone else. Like, and I learned and I saw enough to know, oh, wow, like I could actually really help people if I did that. So I did. I got my license, and ever since that is my way. And I'm very fierce. People know me my whole life, and that is why they hire me. So it's a way to protect people, help them, make them a lot of money, and that's where my passion is.
Nice,
I get excited.
So where are you based out of? What your office is and so forth?
So my office is still in Madeira Beach.
Oh, wow, okay.
So Pinellas County, spent the last
Madeira.
I know.
Yeah.
We go to John's Pass every year.
Yes, you do.
I have since
you invited me
3.
1 year, like 10 years ago. That one time.
You came.
I did.
I'll always remember that.
And he didn't. and he didn't leave early.
Oh wow, they're calling me out, Mandy.
It wasn't like
I pull a lot of Irish goodbyes. I just disappear sometimes.
John's Pass.
Yeah, it was a hidden gem back then, but now it's on the major list. So that's where my office is. But I also am the anti-territory, because I'm everywhere. I grew up on the other side of Florida. And those friends and family are super loyal. And then I've been over here since 2012 and learned this. And then you kind of have to learn everywhere in between, because my structure is service. So where am I going to serve? Where do they need to be? Where they want to be? And then I dive in, study those markets, super hyper focused. And that's how I help. So anyway, I am based in Pinellas, but then I just recently moved up to Pasco. So loving that.
Yep.
And
so wait a minute, time out. So East Coast of Florida, where on the East Coast?
So I am listing today in Port Orange.
Okay.
Just sold another one in Lake Mary, which I don't know if you're familiar with that, but
Yep.
Orlando-ish area, but all the way to the other coast. So basically my rule, and this is another reason why I'm like not your average realtor, is my rule is if my MLS touches it, I'm serving. And that's where my friends, everybody knows about 70 realtors. So you pick the one because you pick the one. So I'm not just going to, no offense to any other ways to do it, but I'm not just going to refer it out and be like, see you when you get closed. Like, no, I'm going to fight this battle with you. I'm walking all the way through. Like, I'm going to take the hits and no one will even know about it. And it'll be great. And at the end, so if my MLS touches it, I'm on it. And if it doesn't, it's best to serve by referral, but that's how I became all across the state.
Awesome. So you lived on the East Coast.
I did. I grew up there.
So when did you turn to the country person that we see in front of us? Because if the East Coast, it doesn't really.
I know. I've always been, I call it a mutt. I've always been, you put me anywhere and I dive in and I just love it. So my both sides of my, both grandmothers, my mom's side and my dad's side, both had farms. So it was just a fun thing to do to visit the farm.
That's
and
cool.
one grandmother always had a cow. Her name was Heifer.
So
we'd go and give Heifer all our vegetables, and she was the pet cow. And so I was like, oh my gosh, when I have kids, I'm going to do that.
So now you have a cow.
You can name it Calvin.
It's like,
oh, that's good.
it's like naming,
it's
like naming a dog.
I know. Well, then
awesome.
I rescued 2 baby cows almost 2 years ago, and I became the mother heifer.
Wow.
Oh.
The mother
You like
heifer. It took me a second, but I got
The
it.
mother heifer, right. And
That's
then
awesome.
Eventually they got too big. So now I had to get my own little place, and that's what I did in Hudson. So
Good for you.
yes.
So is that so we know that real estate, right, is a means of making money.
Mhm.
What's the passion? Is the passion animals? Is the what is the passion for
There's
you?
so many. My kids and then their friends. Like when I was in Pinellas, I took care of. At one time, I accidentally told all of the parents, "Yeah, I'll watch them. Sure, no problem." So it's a Friday night, and I was like, "Oh my God, I have 14 kids in my house.
Right.
Sweet, big pool, whatever." So like children and being that safe space for them is a huge passion of mine.
Mm.
And then helping people, and if I can do that, I'm sorry.
I said helping people. I
Yeah,
heard you
pretty
from the
much.
very- from-
And then
from the start.
animals, because love that, and they're so therapeutic too. And it's a different world to be able to show the kids. Like, it's not all about electronics or what's in front of you. Like, sometimes it's literally an animal. Like, go do something for a being that can do nothing for you.
Yeah.
Go do something selfless. So that's
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
She even has a little cow in
Well,
her.
look at that.
cow keychains.
So-
I became the mother heifer, so everybody's cow.
Here's a question for you. So you've been doing it since 2012 in
Mhm.
real estate. So how did you pivot during COVID? Because we kind of asked this question for a lot of realtors, kind of see where they went. So what did you do?
Oh my goodness. It was so busy. It was slammed. It was
Right.
the best in our, and I'm sure
Great.
oh my gosh, it was the
Right.
best for our business. But with those low rates, I sold and purchased in 2020 myself. So got in, and in full disclosure, and rates in the 2s.
Yeah,
And, and then I just
Miss those
purchased.
days.
Yeah, I know. Then I just purchased a couple months ago in Hudson, sold and purchased and signed like double the rate. So as a buyer, it's
Right.
hard to swallow that, but as a professional in the industry, I know what this looks like, and this is what we do.
Right.
Mhm.
And then I had in the back of my mind the entire time, a good friend of mine is the developer for Madeira Beach, and he likes to tell the story that, well, when he purchased his house at one point, it was 11%.
Yeah.
When I first started in this industry, I was refining people into 11% interest rates, and that was good.
Like less
We're
to
spoiled.
forget.
We talked about this before. We're spoiled. We don't
Yes.
realize where the market was, or we forget where the market was. I'm happy at 4.3.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And should be.
Right.
I was grateful at 5.
Right.
Right.
Hard to swallow because you're like, oh, okay.
But how do
but
you-
it is what it is.
How do we change? Well, for both of you, it's a question. How do we change that? Like, how is that a conversation to let people know that the rate is actually still a very good rate?
So it works over time, I think. You kind of get used to it. We were spoiled for quite some time with the lower interest rates, but that was something that we had never ever seen before.
Right.
So, I mean, what's average? What's the interest rate supposed to be? I mean, if you're getting 5, 6, even 7%, you're like, that's a good rate. You're not
Fair.
paying
Right.
13.
Very fair. Mhm.
Are you seeing a difference in people, affecting people that are coming from up north versus the people that already reside here? Like, is it like, okay, so I'll jump on 7%. They're coming from New York. They're selling their house. I mean,
Okay.
is it a lot of cash still right now? Like what's different right now?
No, I don't think we have enough inventory for it. And people are not paying over, the asking price of homes like they were before. There's not a lot of demand.
So the demand's down.
Yeah.
Real. Okay.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's the ebb and flow of interest rates.
All right. Well,
right?
help me out though. So demand's down, but we still have 1,000 people moving here a day. How is demand down?
There's nobody's selling.
Okay.
Do you agree?
Correct.
Yeah.
And that, yes, when you're sitting in a house that your interest rate is 2-3%, you're like, oh God, I couldn't get
Right.
that for X
Right.
amount. So you
You're just
talk
staying
yourself
put.
right on out of it. So
Right.
yes, and that's
And that's what we're at. We're at like 2% or whatever, and we've got over 50% equity in our house.
Right.
I mean, we could make a fortune if we sold it.
But where are you going to go?
Where you
Yeah.
go.
Right.
Where
Exactly.
are you gonna go?
Right.
And
What are you going to pay?
exactly. And that's it.
Is there fear?
We love our neighborhood anyway, so we're not looking unless
But
we
how
buy
we've
another
overcome
house.
that recently
Right.
is I personally think maybe people are getting a little bit more used to it. The initial shock
Well,
has gone
yeah,
off
that's
a bit.
exactly what's going to happen over time.
So
There,
gas prices. Think about that.
Yeah.
Yes.
They have no choice. People have to move. People
Right,
have to,
right.
to buy homes. It just happens.
Mhm.
Right. I was talking to an individual yesterday that has 2 listings on the river and in Newport Richie, and she's right now there. I guess it's a pocket listing because she's not talking about it. But
what are the
she's
price points?
430. She's talking about selling at 430, and it's but it's only 1,500 square. Still, it's on the river for 1,500
Oh,
square
yeah.
feet. That's going to sell in a day.
In Pinellas, we're
Right.
used to that. You only
Right.
have about 1,500 square feet.
Right. But I think they're going to sell pretty quickly. But she said, these been rentals for her for quite some
Mm.
time, but she's like, I'm just going to sell it because I know I'm going to sell it in a minute. And they're both paid off houses for this individual.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah. But
Think about rent. How much they're receiving in rent right now.
You can, you go into those moving to Florida from wherever
Yeah.
Facebook
Mhm.
pages, and you see everybody. I'm moving there in 2 months. I need a place to rent, and people just start laughing. They're like, "Haha,
Right.
that's
sad,
not."
though.
I mean, that's just the market.
Yeah.
And that's why we're seeing the developers putting up, condo buildings and
Everywhere.
co-ops everywhere.
Everywhere.
So that's where people are going to be filling in, but they're going to be paying arm and a leg. Rent is absolutely insane.
Yeah. So you just sold high in numbers, right? You've been doing good in numbers. It has dropped off. Like, is it insignificant drop off in the past
Huge
year?
drop off, let's say, last 6 months.
Wow.
And every agent, all of my peers, even heavy hitters
Mhm.
that I look up to, they're older than me and I've always looked up to them, they have been struggling. And then the lenders that I'm friends with, everybody's hungry. It's been very difficult, but
Mhm.
all of a sudden, things picked up for
Mm.
me. And I don't know, like I was mentioning before, it could be the initial shock wore off. And then like Lindsay was saying, we have to.
Right.
And we-
So that's what I think it is. Of course you have that lull
Yep.
over the holidays, right? But that was compounded with the high interest rates, or I shouldn't say
true.
high interest rates because they're not really that high.
Higher.
Just, the increase in interest rates. And now people are like, all right, because normally like March is just fire,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Well, we're going to purchase season.
Right. So,
June.
so right now, people are like, all right, we got to start making moves regardless of what interest rates are.
Right.
They've been waiting and waiting and waiting, and they're going to start pulling the trigger now. So like you'll see, and you and I talk about
We
markets
can
and stuff
change
like
the rate
that.
later on.
Yeah, absolutely.
We can even change the term.
So now that I'm hearing fear, right? Like, and this is the first time we've ever met in person, known you forever. Fear. People can't afford anything. Hence, segue to barndominiums, and that's why.
Right.
That's why it's going to be successful
Absolutely.
because it's
Yes.
brought back affordable housing. And I even hate that word because when you say affordable housing, it's
You
like
think Section 8,
it's diminutive a little bit.
Right.
But that's
Right.
where I really like my eyes lit up when
Right.
I saw the videos you guys were posting on this. And I did the math. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Right.
People can get a brand new build for how much? So that's
Yeah,
why.
half the price
Right.
Oh
per
my
square foot.
goodness. And it's gorgeous and it's new.
Yep.
Yep.
It is new. It's for you. I can't.
And there's, like I said, there's hype behind it right now, and it's very common out west.
It's
Like
very trendy.
Idaho, Texas, like
Mhm.
it's the norm out there. And then finally, when it passed building codes in Florida,
Mhm.
which is absolutely amazing, but for $130 a square foot, and we're going to talk about it, obviously with Nick in the next segment, but 160, man, you're getting your LVP, you're getting your tile, you're getting your quartz, you're getting soft close drawers. I mean, it's the best of the best, and you're still at $160 a square foot.
Right.
I have builders call me, they're like, "How are you doing it?" Like they don't
Like,
even understand it.
I ain't telling you.
Yeah.
Right? I'm already getting this question.
Right.
Let's just do it.
So I'm kind of want your take on them. Now, do we change the barn dominium? This is a serious thing we're talking about right now, because we have barn-do everything, but then is it industrial housing? Like, how would you, because it's, when you think barn, right, some people like, and it's fine because you're country and you love it, like, oh, it's a barn,
Right.
it's a barn
And I
do.
saw that video and you were
Okay.
kind of making fun of country. and
No,
I'm
I
like,
wasn't.
this guy.
I
No,
was
this
not
wasn't
making
it.
fun of country at all.
Like,
But no, I was not. I promise. But seriously, do we change? What do you guys think? Do we change the name?
Because I was ready for this.
Go.
Okay. This brings me back to managing. I was a finance manager in the car business prior to real estate. And in finance school, you learn to be a chameleon.
Right.
They teach you that anyway. Not everyone can learn it, but I say you absolutely keep your barn dominium. I mean, that's all over.
Right.
It's very trendy. But then when you speak to the insurance companies, you don't call it a barn dominium. It's a metal building.
Gotcha.
So there's different. So if you're sitting in front of the insurance guy, you're not going to call this a barn. Yeehaw.
Right.
Non-commercial.
Non-commercial.
Yeah.
Oh, yep. There's
Residential.
Right.
Yes.
Mhm.
So
Residential
that's
metal
right.
building. Right.
51% of this.
Yeah, these are the things that you have to say.
Right. And
Yeah.
I would just
You're
go
not
with
operating
who was
a
in front of you.
Right.
We're not working on our workshop, running
Yeah.
a business.
Right.
Right.
Just from a marketing
Whether you do or
Aspect.
don't.
You're
Like
going to
from-
need more marketing.
right for
Because
sure,
you know people.
and you're going to help with that. But just from a marketing aspect, it's like, do we change? And I understand it's hard because do people from New York want a barn dominium? Do people from New Jersey
It
want to
doesn't matter
live in
what
a
it's
barn
called, it's what it
dominium?
looks like.
Change the
understand
model
that.
It's
names.
true.
I understand
Show,
that.
show.
So
Yeah.
it's the model names that you change.
Yeah, those are hard.
You don't even
And
have to
I don't
call
like
it
our
barn
model names, and
dominium.
we're going to change them. We
So
are.
yeah,
Just like we called one the cob. I'm like, where's the corn?
right.
There's just certain things that I don't like.
Baseball theme.
Right. I don't
Yeah.
even know where I came from. I'm going to be
So
honest.
like and all like Barndo is it. That's the
Right.
name of
Yeah.
what the movement
Alright.
is, because it's a movement.
It is.
Okay.
You need to subsection off of that.
Yes.
Is what you need to do.
I love
and
this
then
feedback. This is
and then
fantastic.
advertise.
Know
Yeah.
who's in front of you and be that to
Yeah.
communicate with that.
For
best.
sure.
We're
For
in-
sure.
Yeah.
It's different.
That's the
It's
attraction.
you're selling lifestyle.
Mhm.
You're selling lifestyle, and we actually you guys know. Do you know Samra from Gypsy Pools? It's the stock
Oh,
the stock
yes.
tanks. So we're talking to her. Like, we're gonna do packages, and I want you guys to envision like walking. Who here has been to a Tesla? Anyone been to a Tesla dealer?
The one
where
at
you go in?
International Plaza.
Right. Like, so you go in a Tesla, they have the two vehicles there, and then you have smart screens on the wall, and then
I
you
live
just
vicariously through your videos.
Same.
right, you just go and you just go and you select.
I'm
Right.
in the office. I don't know what you're
I'm
doing,
sorry.
but
I'm always everything. But you go and you select like your options. Well, that's going to be the same way. So when our barn dominium is built for the model center,
Right.
you're going to go in and be like, oh, by the way, I want a putting green. Oh, by the way, I want a gypsy pool,
Can we do
stock
touch
tank,
screen
and
when
it's
you're
touch
doing
screen,
it?
and you literally select, and then you're
Oh.
done. And that's
Tell
how
me
you
how
pick it.
that won't attract every type
Right.
of even your.
It's just different. It's different way
So
of
cool.
thinking. You're not going into that standard model center, and then you got your
Does it-
model minder
Does
there.
it
and
come
then
with a grande
whatever,
cafe
whatever
latte
you
soy?
want, bro.
Yeah.
Whatever you want. Whatever you want. If we're on a different level, I would have went.
You're gonna have a line of millennials out the front door.
Yeah.
Buddy.
Well, that's what.
we're
So
not gonna be able to get out.
funny you say that, because
Mhm.
when we did our market study, like that's what it was. It was like,
Yeah.
this is the millennial mindset. And
Absolutely.
then we talked about this briefly before with Caleb McDonald, but I want to talk about this again today. Is the white picket fence development dead?
I don't think it's necessarily dead,
Oh,
right?
Okay.
So there's always going to be a market for that.
Right.
You know what I mean? As long as Disney's in the show and they're, and they're doing their Disney
almost
princess
did Mickey
thing
Mouse,
with
almost
celebration
did, yeah.
and
I
all
might
that
be
stuff.
kicking them out, so.
Well,
Right.
Right.
they're not going anywhere. Look at celebration over there in Disney.
Yeah.
You know what I
Right.
mean?
I think
Yeah, I don't-
different people have
I just
different
think-
lifestyles, and a lot of millennials.
I think it's
that
less
the
as
trend-
important. is what I'm
Yeah,
getting at.
exactly.
I think
the
our-
trend has shifted.
I don't, and you don't have to divulge your age, but and for our generation, that's what we wanted. That's what we were told we wanted.
I don't want
That's
a white
that.
picket fence, man. You have to go pressure wash it and
What?
paint it.
You're
And...
so lame. He talks about getting a fence every
Oh, he
day.
does?
Well, that's so I
That
can
would
put
make sense for your
but you know,
front. That
do you
would
know
look
why
cute.
though?
They
You know,
have like a
I'll
craftsman
go
style
with the
long
house.
leaf house.
I
It's
want
really
to. I want to put a pitching mound out back, and I can't do it without a fence. That's
would,
why-
would your HOA even allow that?
If the fence is there, they can't see it. So
It's
I
got
don't
to be
care.
a white picket fence. but
Bro.
yeah.
No, it's got to be an 8-foot privacy fence.
We
but-
can't do 8 feet in an HOA.
I
6
can.
feet. You
There's-
do
there's-
6'8". There
No,
you gotta
there's
do 8.
footers in there.
No.
Yeah, they're taller than I am.
No way.
Probably definitely not across the front.
No, the front has to be that
Right.
little 3-foot height
Oh,
thing.
Right.
But dude, right down the side of the house.
That would
a
be kind of cool.
beautiful
Right.
pitching
I will
mound.
come over and throw
Right?
with you. My
Sounds
arm.
like I need to find them more land.
No.
I don't know about
We've had house
We
with
have a
yeah.
baseball field. I can see the baseball.
It's a
field
softball
across the
field.
street.
It's not a baseball
Where?
field.
It's a diamond, bro,
I
with
was gonna
dirt.
say, is the diamond different?
Right. Well, it is
Absolutely
actually.
is.
It is actually, yeah.
Okay.
It
I
is.
don't
The
know.
space between base runs, it's different.
There's
The
no
mound's
pitching mound.
different. Yeah, there's no mound. It's softball.
Oh.
There's no mound in that. Anyway, off.
It's like-
I don't know where we went on that, but I still think those developments are important. But let me give you an example.
Build it.
So I met with an individual that you introduced me to, no names, and I thought we had a wonderful conversation. Well, this gentleman had a piece of property off of Keystone, and we talked about barn dominium. So like you walk in or you drive in, you gate a community, and let's say you have
Not an average gate though.
no.
You know,
No.
so-
like it's a different type entry. It's almost
Like
like
rolling into a ranch.
there
Like
it
a
is.
high-end
Thank you.
ranch.
Rolling into a
Okay.
ranch, right? You walk in and it's not asphalt, it's gravel, and then you're going
Crushed
and then it's
limestone,
all barn
whatever.
dominiums, right? But on the same time, the whole development is on a grid of solar. So if anything ever
Right.
shuts down, the whole development will always still
Beautiful.
run.
Good thing I'm
Which
friends
is-
with them.
Right.
Doing that.
I mean,
I
it's
know,
a
right?
completely different, but you got to think like in
She knows
today's-
who we're talking
yeah, today's world, we have to think of that smart development, but it's like smart rustic, right? So I
Yeah.
want to put
Right.
the drone landing pads in there because all the drone deliveries are coming, right? So
Yeah.
put the package portal in every house. So every house you'll never get anything stolen from ever
Standalone
again.
generators.
Correct.
Yep.
So
everything.
I mean, I think that's what's coming next because and this is why I'm bringing this up. I think COVID changed the mindset of how people live and how they work at home and play at home. And I think they now want a safe haven to where, and quite frankly, we've become a very antisocial society, although we're social as hell on this,
Right.
right? It's rare that we're breaking bread or seeing each other face to face like this. But to me,
Some
they want
Zoom
to be,
calls.
Zoom calls. They want to be on their own. They want to be on that place. I don't know. What's your thought? Both.
I agree. And I want to live where you just described.
Yeah.
I think a lot of
Right,
people
when I'm
would.
ready to live
Right.
on humans again, that sounds great.
How much do you have a lot of acreage?
Just a couple.
Just a couple acres.
But everybody's got like 2.5 acres.
Right.
and
Mhm.
We're all very spread out and the neighbors are happy because why would you not?
It's
Right.
true. Yeah, I would love that. That's why I tried, but it didn't work out. I had to give Jen what you wanted.
Yeah.
We tried for the acreage, didn't happen.
It
Like,
is-
no,
it-
I'm good.
Look, it's great for some people until you start. You got to be out there cutting the grass and this. It is.
Oh no, I
it's
get
get
a
a
lot of
cow.
work.
You get a cow. Yeah.
You get a
I've never-
cow.
I've lived there months.
We were
and I've
gonna when we
never-
lived up in Weeki Watch, we talked about getting goats.
Did you
Just-
really?
yeah. Do you remember that?
You had something.
He had a
You
pig.
had a pig.
I had a pig. I did. I had Miss Piggy,
Aw.
and I had a pig pen and everything. And then when we moved, we had to give Miss Piggy away.
Yeah.
Somebody
So-
took Miss Piggy.
And she was stolen.
Yeah.
It was on the news.
Believe that crap.
You could look it up. So in my old house, these activists said that pigs do not belong and decided
Is that
to
who
take-
it was? Really?
literally decided to
Oh
take
my
my
God.
pig. And then their neighbor ratted them out.
Good.
Their neighbor ratted
We're
them out.
talking about a little tiny pig.
No,
was a
she was
big
big at that time. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's breaking and entering.
Yeah, for
How do
real.
you feel about that?
Yeah.
Activists.
So
Right.
Oh.
yeah,
That's like you got to be able to break and enter.
I
be an
honestly
activist,
forgot
right?
about that.
Don't they always do that? They're always
It's a-
breaking and entering into
it's a
something
big
to do,
crime.
Well, I
do
met-
something.
I met the
else.
husband. So I
Jack
actually met the
Wagons.
husband at we met somewhere, I'm like, listen, here's what's gonna happen. I'm not gonna press charges. I'm like, you're just gonna give me my pig back, or it's gonna be a problem. I'm like,
My kid
I'm,
is crying.
I'm
Yeah.
a pretty big dude. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt if you don't. So long story short,
I'm not
he met
threatening
me.
you.
You're right.
Right.
So he met me in this parking lot. He gave me the pig, and I'm like, what were you thinking? He's like, my wife, dude.
You
Oh, my
exchanged
God.
Miss Piggy in the
Yeah.
parking lot? She's a gangster.
Yeah, she's bald.
Wow.
Yeah. It's like a mafia.
Yeah. Miss
Exchange.
Piggy is-
I mean,
wow.
give me that or you get this. It was
Like a
awesome.
hangover, like give us Doug.
Yeah. Miss Piggy was on the roof like that. Oh man, that's funny. That's awesome. All right, so yeah, thanks for bringing up Miss Piggy. I literally forgot about that. Honestly, I feel so bad because I had to give her away to a sanctuary, and my daughters asked me like, "Dad, how's Miss Piggy?" I'm like,
She's living the life.
"She
man.
might be bacon. I don't
No.
know."
Yeah.
You would say that.
No, you wouldn't.
Yes, you would.
Not to Taylor. You
No,
wouldn't.
no, I don't know,
She's
baby.
young.
Maybe to
She's
Maddie.
got massive for sure. You're an
Maddie.
ass, Dad.
Yeah.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. So what else is going on? So what else is going on in your life? Anything interesting? You have kids, right?
Yes, we're all systems go, all directions at all times. And I think
Yep.
that's probably another reason I'm good at real estate, because it's putting out fires and problem solving as fast as you can and all at the same time.
Right.
So it's a lot of fun. And
So can you tell us about, like, I saw a helicopter. Is that something we can't talk about, or can we talk about it? I saw there's somebody came, like you came to your place and you were showing houses, or what happened there?
My friend owns a jet and helicopters, and a wonderful human. So he says, well,
Awesome.
I got property on the other coast. Now I'm ready to look on your coast. Being that we have land here, and specifically I was looking in Hudson, there's land right there, and 15 minutes from that front gate is Hudson Beach. So it's, people don't realize you have the Gulf and the country. I've had several clients, multi-million-dollar clients, who are like, all right, well, I'm ready for a farm, but I also, enjoy the water. So I'm like, well, you don't have to choose either or. Like, you can do it all here. And I fear, but I'm also excited for when more people to understand that about this area in Pasco County, and that's when we're going to get that boom. And it's already coming, because they're clearing all this land and these big name
all the infrastructure.
We've talked about that before. Where I grew up in Harford County, Maryland, that is exactly what happened. And this is 30 years ago, 25, 30 years ago. Like, that's where we're at now compared to where I was at, and as far as real estate development. And you just, that 95 corridor northeast out of Baltimore, just every single intersection at the interchanges, nothing but stores and shopping centers and all that. And then the hotels, and then the big subdivisions. And it was just
infrastructure. And then,
everybody I grew up with, back then now lives another 45 to 60 minutes north. And some of them even moved into Delaware to get away from that type of thing. So you're starting to see it, like the Plath Road project that's coming. People are livid. Like, nah, I'm going to have to move.
Well, there's 4,000 homes.
And they're going to be like
4,000 homes on Little Road and Plath Road, which is, that's a lot of houses. The traffic's going to be insane.
Has to be upgraded, obviously. But what I'm saying is, like, the people that live here now are already complaining. And those are the ones that grew up. You can't stop progress.
You can't stop growth. You can't stop progress. People are going to move down here. I just don't want.
They're the ones that are going to be moving to Hudson, and then Spring Hill, and then Brooksville.
So where were you? Were you guys up at Royal Highlands? I don't remember.
We were right in the middle of Royal Highlands.
So if you think about where you were at Royal Highlands years ago, and then now.
So we drove through there a month and a half ago or so.
Well, that's where the majority of the barndominiums are going to start going, because right now so this would be good for your clients. So there's a lot of dirt roads in there. So it's just north of Weeki Wachee and Royal Highlands. There's still a lot of dirt road. And then once we reach capacity in there, the county's just going to have to come in and start paving the roads. So you can still buy lots in there for 25 grand, 30 grand. And like, I know years ago they were 8 grand, but 30 grand is still a very affordable lot right now. So it's like, hello, wake up, people, and buy this now, because God's not making any more property.
They're like, that's roughly like an acre. Just under an acre for the price up there.
So your investment is in the land. That's going to make you, for your return, way more than, what bank account that you just put your money in to save? Put it in the land.
I have Paul and Bianca. I found out have land up there. So Paul's like, it's just sitting up there. I'm not doing anything with it. So now we're talking to him about putting a barn dough on it.
Sweet.
And then we'll flip that and go that way. And then we found out a few other people that I'm actually have clients and friends of mine have like 3 or 4 lots up there that they've never done anything with. So we're going to start putting up there. But if any of your investors jump on that, and I'm getting on a piece, because it's just going to make money. But then guess what, guys? After that, there's nothing again, and then you have Crystal River, and then pretty soon there's nowhere to go.
Homosassa,
nowhere
Crystal
to go.
River.
It's getting more and more condensed, where we're going to have nothing, and then you got to go out towards Umatilla, Florida. You want to talk about country? Umatilla, Florida. Right, exactly.
I've never even heard of that.
I used to go, so I had family out there on Jen's side. Like, that was Thanksgiving every year, Umatilla, Florida. And I would look forward to it because it was so tranquil and there was nothing there. And now when you drive to Umatilla, Florida, like, what the hell? And it looks like here, like you just see buildings going up everywhere, and all these orange, orchards are now gone. I mean, this pretty soon we're gonna have nowhere to go. And then you're gonna have to go North Florida again.
Are there even any orange orchards left?
There's a few. I know, right?
When I used to come down here as a kid from Maryland, they were everywhere.
Yeah, those orange fields right where the
Lowe's
and
Home Depot.
Right there on
I grew up before Lowe's and Home
Target,
Depot.
Or where Kohl's. Where Kohl's and Home Depot.
Right.
We used to go in there and grab the oranges.
Talk about breaking the law.
Seriously,
living on the edge.
We were kids. But think about, like, back in the day, that on both sides it was orange orchards. It was amazing. Or on Plath Road, true story. It was so Little Road. that was Miss Little's house where the corner of 7-Eleven and Decubulus is.
Yeah.
And we used to go in there as kids and like hide to go seek and like play like all that because it was like, and then they shut it down. And then I think the Littles, they never sold the land. They're smart, of course. They're the Littles, and they leased the land to the 7-Eleven. So the 7-Eleven's there, and that's a lease back.
And now
Yeah.
behind that 7-Eleven,
It's going to be 4,000 homes.
you know what they do?
They do. That's what they do. The gun.
Airsoft. Yeah.
You're
That's what it
he's
is.
such a-
Remember?
We're such kids, right?
Hundreds and hundreds of cars in there
Airsoft
on the
rifle.
weekends playing airsoft. Yeah.
Yeah. And then right across from that, you're going to see the 4,000 homes,
Yep.
which is going to be nuts. But that's why you see car washes popping up.
Oh, the car wash thing drives me insane. I wish I had one already.
Yeah, no kidding.
They're it's a moneymaker,
I
man.
don't understand. Why are there so many? I'm so confused by it.
I think
4,000
society's lazy.
houses,
I
2
think society's
cars.
lazy, right? And like
Yeah,
and
per
all those
house.
people are moving there, and then it's an easy way to clean your car. I pay the $20 a month for the car wash.
That's 8,000 cars that are coming. Think about it. Everybody has 2 cars.
What show was it? Where that's how they laundered the money. What was it? Breaking Bad?
I think that is it.
I don't know. He bought a car wash and laundered money. That's what
Now
I
I
said.
know why
Whatever.
I know why my dad had a car wash.
Oops.
So my
Apparently, they
Yeah.
recouped their money in like 2 years.
oh
I
yeah.
believe it.
Well,
Yeah.
Trinity Car Wash
Yeah.
sold to 5 Auto already, so they already sold their Trinity Car Wash. It's insane, and or whatever Auto 5.
I have a subscription there
It's $20 a month.
Yeah.
And you get a car wash all the time.
every day.
So my dad and my mom owned a car wash up north, and then my dad said it was a cash cow. Like it just would come in all the time, and then they sold it. Well, many moons ago.
They only cost like between 3 and 5 million
To
to
build,
start. Yeah,
I guess it's not. You really think it's nothing?
that's the land.
Do you remember when that was a lot of money? Do you remember when like
We were playing that game yesterday, and somebody said, "Oh, what happens if you win $1 million?" And I'm thinking to myself,
Somebody said disappear, and I'm like,
this?
$1
Where
million
were you going?
dollars,
Guatemala?
right? Gonna catch an Uber down to
$1
Tampa,
million
Deer
today.
Beach.
Right.
Back tomorrow.
Right.
right?
One house, you're done. You're not even there yet.
Yeah.
Margarita on the beach, and you're broke.
Isn't
Yeah.
what it used to be. So they were like, "Oh, we're just gonna do all." I'm like, "No, we're
I
not. You're
know.
gonna pay off your bills, and like
Yeah.
you might have."
Think about it. Veterans
some-
Village houses are 300, 350,
Yeah,
2-bedroom.
Jeez.
$1 million.
These houses were-
the same way.
These houses were $35,000 10 years ago.
Gosh.
Yeah, that's right. You weren't here yet.
It's all about timing.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm new here.
Yeah, well, you've been here a long time,
Yeah.
but we grew up here, and it was. I mean, I remember looking at these houses, or houses on the river, not for peanuts,
Yeah,
like
compared to now,
under
definitely.
100. So I used to sell real estate. So I used to actually work for a builder called Lexington Homes, which went out of business a long time ago. But it was during the order taking years, early 2000s. I was in my 20s, and I remember, like, you can buy a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 3-car garage on a lot, like 1/4 acre. It was like 129.9 with a pool.
Oh my
Like it, like
God.
those were the days. So like, and that was in the early 2000s, and we were just boom, 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 selling them left and right. And it wasn't selling; it was like next.
Right.
Like who are you calling on the list? It was, it was crazy.
So, you guys see the trend, right? You
Mm.
see what happened in California, right? It was inundated. People were just like influx to California.
Right.
What happens, right? Property taxes go up to a point now where
Well,
everybody's
it's
like, we got to
disturbing.
get the
They're-
heck out of
That's
there.
a mass.
So where are
exodus.
we at now, right now,
Oh,
right?
we're
And the same thing in New York.
We're on that way.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Phone
that's
calls.
like the property values are not going to come down in Florida anytime soon.
Not when
Not
everyone's
at all.
moving here.
So, even though it was $129,000, 20 years ago, and it's $1 million now, it's still a deal because in 10 years, it's going to be double that price.
Yep,
Taxes
you're gonna
and
wish you
insurance.
dived in now.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be
Right.
crazy later.
Everybody knows that saying, right? Best 2 times to invest were 20 years ago
Yeah.
and right now. Yeah.
It's true.
And I also think in 2024, if I'm not mistaken, and we can talk to a insurance agent about this, is that if you have a citizens policy, I believe that they're going to require you to have a matching flood policy in 2024. Sorry.
Depending on the zone or just flat out.
I think it's just flat out. And like I said, we'll talk to an insurance agent about it, but I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure that is the gist of what
And Citizens is all who's writing right now.
Right.
Yeah.
We're going to have to
So-
get,
there's
Either-
some-
I know who we're going to have to
You
bring
have an
in.
insurance agent?
Yeah.
there's
Oh,
some
for
I know
sure.
who we're going to bring in.
where they're able to offer other products. Anyway, here nor there, because I'm not an
Wah,
insurance agent.
wah,
Right.
wah.
But it goes along with
Was all
the
upbeat.
increase in taxes,
Yeah.
and then the insurance not only is already high, but
Mine's insane now because I'm on the water. Yeah.
So
Ah.
and well,
Thanks, Lindsay, for the great news.
well, flood insurance.
end
the
it
max
on that.
policy that you can get is $250, but It has to match something in the policy. Like I said, we'll talk to an insurance agent and bring them one and like get the real information about it. But
who are your, I call them brand ambassadors? Like who are your selected people that you work with, insurance and all that fun stuff?
So I'm kind of rogue in that sense too. You know, every broker has who they recommend, but just the relationships that I've created is basically, and this is not to speak against anybody else, but the decibel that I work at, I tell my clients I don't have business hours. If I'm up and I see that you're on my phone asking a question, absolutely. Like I don't want you laying there at 10:30 at night with anxiety about this lady, whoever it is, or like
That's
let me know.
that makes sense, right?
With that being said, people that match that business model are who I work with, like my lenders and my and I don't expect it. It's not like you know, I need people to be able to have family time. Totally fine.
Right.
Yeah, totally fine. But that up until today, that's exactly who I work with. It's people that I can just on the whim, even if they're, you know, floating in on the back of a paddle board. It's like, hey, can you, what for insurance questions? I've done that before. I'm like, dude, is this? And he'll be the one to get back to me. I'm like, so my loyalty is there. Like, thank you.
That's awesome.
So
do you find that less and less hard to find those individuals that are willing to work?
people have been so hungry that everybody's like, what do you need?
Right.
So I've been like, all right, here's what I need.
Wow.
But you remember the ones that weren't that way when it was really busy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, unfortunately there are those too, and I still love those ones. But
Sure.
sorry, we're friends, but I can't. You know, I
Right.
can't throw my people at you.
Can't rely on them.
No.
I've shifted all my, like, I think you probably remember me saying this, like during COVID. I said, who you are now during COVID will make an impact on who you were going to be for the rest of your life in business. And I watched people cower and turn away and be scared. I don't work with those people anymore.
Absolutely.
Because I watched who they really are as individuals. Yep. And that's why they're probably suffering today
as well. What'd you do when it got hot? When the heat was turned up? What'd you do?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, definitely.
I had people, you can't say this and you can't do that. And that's wrong of you to say that. You got to go.
Right. You're not my people.
Yeah.
Love you though. But over there.
That's why we have Jesse. Because when we say the things that we're not supposed to, we used to do tape broadcasts.
I want to test it
so he could edit it because we were no holds barred.
He just gave the thumbs up.
JLG Marketing Solutions.
She's like,
everybody.
We're going to take that part.
Actually, Jesse, I don't know if you saw, but I know an individual that is looking for your services. So I actually called him. It was on the hub, and I called him out yesterday, and I told him to put in touch with you. I said I highly recommend you. So. Anyway,
I need his contact info too. So
he's good.
Yes.
You're let's be real here. Your social media is pretty elevated. So,
but here's the thing.
How do we elevate you?
He'll streamline it for you though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the growth you'll see over a 30, 60, 90-day campaign will be exponential.
Right. I'm a wild card.
You know what I mean?
So yeah, I know that I need some sort of direction.
Do you actually let's ask that marketing question. Is there any philosophy to your stuff? Like you're like, I'm posting at this time or this time. Just like, are you just
times? But I have my own algorithm, and I'll try to make this as short as possible. But in 2009, when Facebook started, I thought it was so dumb. I was like, this is so dumb. But okay, guys, everybody like forced me. All my friends, you have to. Okay.
Right.
So everyone wanted to connect for parties. I wasn't into that, or like I don't even know what. But people would talk smack and about people, maybe even comment.
Hey, it still happens. What do you know? Yeah.
But for some weird reason in my brain, I was like, oh, well, why don't I just tell that girl? Like, all these people are saying what's wrong with however she looks. Like, I'm about to tell her, like, hey, I love that sweater. It looks so good with your eyes. Like, I don't know. Just say something nice.
Something nice, yeah.
And it's genuine. Like, I literally look at it, I find it, and I say it. And it only takes about 10 minutes, but you roll through, like, rapid fire, like, say all these nice things. And everybody's like, dang, well, thank you. And so back then, and I've done that my entire existence on Facebook since. So, like, this social media following didn't just happen. And I can't teach people who, I don't really use Facebook. Well, now that you're selling, makeup, you can't all of a sudden use Facebook and expect people to buy your stuff.
Right.
And I bring up makeup just because no matter what I've sold, and I hate sales, it's really just shared, but people, it just ignited, even when I did sell makeup. I don't know anything about makeup, but learned it like on social media, making the videos, learning it as I went. And it was just so genuine that my people felt like, oh my God, like I'm sorry, Mandy, that I haven't talked to you. Yeah. They're like, the one girl for real estate, she's like, I know we haven't seen each other in 15 years, but I just feel like really close to you because you're very vulnerable. Do you think that you can help me sell my house? Yep. See you in a minute. And she was across the state. So anyway, when I said my own algorithm, it's like, I tried to just keep it authentic. I am a mom first. And when, as a mother, it's way more wholesome than like, it's Friday, the kids are at school, I'm going to wash my car in a bikini. Deal with it. So some people thought that photo
Right.
was a little bit, okay, well, this is me, Karen. So, because she'd be caring too much about my life. Anyway,
Right.
so like the kids, and then, you know, if you're in a relationship, you show that, because love is great. It's great to share that on social and cultivate that. And then next would be a business post. And then next, so there's an algorithm of like 5 different, just
Right.
who I am. And then I just rotate.
It works.
And that's my algorithm.
Oh,
And
it's
that's
working.
where, yeah.
Right.
And I just
So
try to
basically be genuine,
just
right?
be
Right.
genuine. And it's like,
Good point, Kris.
and it's like your people know when you're not being
Yeah.
genuine.
Yeah,
So if you
exactly.
didn't use Facebook and now you're jumping on and you're trying to be someone else, it bombs every time.
Yeah.
Every time. So yes, being genuine, and like my mother hates this part, like the oversharing. Sorry, but if I'm vulnerable about something, I just want to be able to relate to people and just show like, and I think it's really worked because people see how I've dug myself out of things, and then
I think it depends what
it's
you
powerful.
overshare, because there is a like,
Oh, yeah.
like we have a friend that just shares stuff, and we're like,
Yeah.
hey, okay, like you just wouldn't.
right.
We're not going to go there.
right.
Like you wouldn't even think about talking about it. But it's just. But
Yeah.
what's odd is there's no effect. Like we think it has an effect because it's our moral compass or the way we think or we perceive
Yes.
things,
Mhm.
but it's not affecting that person because they're still successful and they're still doing what they're doing.
Isn't
So
that funny?
yeah.
So they have their
right.
lane.
So
Right.
it's hence stay in your lane,
Yeah,
and it doesn't
it's a
matter.
thing. So man,
You
and
relate to certain people certain ways, and other
Yeah.
people are attracted to that.
Yeah, for sure.
When we see it, we're like, probably wouldn't have gone there.
Right.
But there's other
Yeah,
people that are like,
absolutely.
oh, let me
Right.
help you.
There's a
let me
niche
help
for everything.
you.
that's why it's
Yeah.
important
different.
for everybody to be different.
Yeah.
Because what happens with other people that can't relate? I mean, what happens to them? So somebody relates to them. It just all,
Right.
it's good. It's the differences are so good, and that's also something that not enough people I think realize. So anyway,
Awesome.
it's
Well,
been great.
it's nice to know that you're also an intellect, not just a pretty face. That's what everyone, as you know, everyone says that. Like, oh, it's probably just a pretty face. No, you got a head on your shoulders. So that's
The
nice.
amount of time I spend telling people like,
Yeah.
no, like I'm smarter than I look, and then they
Right.
stop because they're like, oh shit, she read my mind.
That's funny.
No, I promise. There's a frame here. Like,
Yeah. Awesome. So tell, we're gonna wrap this up here actually a little bit.
Yes.
So tell everyone how to get a hold of you.
so email or call, text, send an owl, whatever you need to do. My information will be here on the bottom, or reach out to me on Facebook. I check all of the inbox, even the message
Ooh.
requests if we're not friends.
Bless you.
Well, get this. You know, the first words better be about real estate.
Because
Everybody else goes unread, and then sometimes I'll use one as an example, and that's always fun. But anyway, but yes, you can definitely get a hold of me that way. And I'm in and for me, it's not sales. I'm in the communications business. Tell me what you need, and I'm about to solve all of these issues. Can't always solve my own, but everyone else's I'm very successful at.
Awesome.
Excellent. All right. Well, thanks for being on the show
Thank you
today.
guys
We
so
appreciate you
much.
guys. And let's wrap it up there. Jess, appreciate you working your magic back there for
Thank
us.
you, Jesse.
Yep.
Being phenomenal.
All right, guys. We're out.
See ya.
Bye.